This is Radha Rasa Suranidhi, verse 61, and we're continuing the discussion about we heard about the beauty of Krishna yesterday, Govinda Mandivara Shamam, and why Sripad Prabodhananda Saraswati was using these extra adjectives to describe the beauty and radiance of Krishna. Krishna is Govinda, and he's Indivara Shamam. Krishna is already Sham, which means dark blue, beautiful like the sea, or like a blue sapphire, or like a beautiful monsoon cloud, Ganasham. Ganasham Radhe Radhe, Ganasham Radhe Radhe. Ganasham means Gana means condensed, concentrated, thick. Like we say Ganaras when you get sugarcane juice. What you call sugarcane juice you buy, and that's called Gana Ras, because it's not regular water, it's thick. It's some body to it, where water is thin. So Krishna is very thick, Sham. But here it says Indivara. Indivara, we don't know what that is, but Indivara is a blue lotus flower, very, very dark blue, like Krishna. I've never seen. Maybe on the net you can see, or maybe it's a transcendental blue lotus flower. There are blue lotus flowers, and there's different types of blue lotus flowers, just like in pink or red. There's, like someone might say, oh, I'm wearing a pink shirt. Well, it may be so many, it's cool pink or blue pink, or so many types of pink and different shades. So Krishna was compared like that because he took on an extra deeper hue of blue color because he was touching Radharani. And he touched Radharani, which we'll hear about today, this point. And when he touched Radharani, then he touched Radharani's transcendental divine form of Srimati Radharani. And she's full of Sham Ras, that intimate love, absorption in Krishna or Sham, so her whole being. So then Krishna became even bluer by that contact. So now, and we discussed about Rasika Dayani, and now we'll discuss this again, this last line. Read the verse again. Parasparsha rasotsavam pranatibir govindam indivara shamam prartayutum sumanjula raha kunjam chasamarjitum Mala Chandana Gandhapura Rasavat Tambula Satpanakan Yaddattum Charasaika Dhayanitava Preshya Kadasyamaham. So here, the translation, the Manjari is praying to Radhika. Oh, only bestower of Ras, Shri Radhike, when will you engage me? By praying to the lotus flower Govinda, who experiences a festival of Ras by bowing down at your lotus feet and touching them. When can I sweep your very lovely solitary kunj and bring you various items like flower garlands and sandalwood paste and perfumes and fragrant scents and oils, and also tasty betel leaves and drinks for your pleasure. So this is a prayer, and we discussed, I think 2 days ago or so, about the Manjula Raha Kunjams Chasamarjitam. Manjul, like Manju, we say Manjulali, that is the Manjari form of Lokanath Goswami. Manju means very charming, delightful, elegant. Raha means secret. Kunja means forest bower, private little meeting area inside a bunch of trees and bushes, and very like a little clubhouse or little meeting area, all private, confidential, no one can see. A meeting place, natural. Forest bower. Samanjula Rahakunjam Samarjitum, Marjanando, Mandira Marjanando. So we read about that, how the Manjaris are on Radharani's order. She said, "Oh, Manjari, please sweep the kunja, sweep the dirt, make it clean, make it nice." So we discussed that. So in this verse, now we're going to, there's another translation from one godbrother. He says, Krishna bows down and touches your lotus feet. And when he does that, Govinda experiences a festival of Ras. That Govinda is deep hued in color like the blue lotus. When will you send me to him and submit your message? Then I will go to your most pleasant solitary bower house and clean up your bower house. When will you ask me to bring flower garlands, sandalwood paste, perfumes, and luscious betel and divine drinks? O sole deliverer of Ras, when will I ever become your maidservant, fit for running many errands for you? So this line we'll discuss now is in the this last line, Rasa ekadhyani. It says, Rasaikadhyani tava, which translates as Eka means only. You are the only source of Ras. So Radharani is the only giver and bestower of Ras. But who receives that Ras? Who receives the Radha Ras? Well, the line it's telling us here, who gets that Radha Ras the most? Sri Krishna receives a lion's share. I mean, lions means the largest amount, the greatest proportion of Radharani's Rasadayani. But Swamini Radharani's Manjaris also get an intoxicating share. They get some, and whatever ras they get, that rasa, that liquid, that mellow, that joy, that bliss, that prema, they become completely intoxicated. And as you know, I guess every language has a word for intoxication. And Sanskrit or Hindi, they say mada. Mada means mad, divyon mad, mahabhav, madness, divine, spiritual, craziness or madness. And then it also means intoxicated. You can become intoxicated by liquor or alcohol. You can be intoxicated by money. Some people have so much money they become intoxicated, and they can't even keep their feet on the ground. They're always thinking, "I'll buy this and I'll buy that." Some people become intoxicated by beauty, and you see that when they're walking down the street, you say, "Oh, that person's really intoxicated." In other words, they're really proud of their beauty. So Damba is in Gita, Bhagavad Gita. Damba is a quality of pride. So this is a pride in my beauty. Then we walk down the street, as everyone knows, that the handsome man or beautiful lady, the way they walk. And the basic idea is, I am God's gift to creation. Everybody feast your eyes on beauty. I am beauty personified. So we become intoxicated. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the Gokul Leela of Krishna, Gopal, and Gokuldam, there was the Damodar Leela, Damodar, Namamishwaram Sachidananda, that Namamishwaram. So then here, these two great devatas, Manigriva and Nalakuvara, they became so proud of their wealth, because their father was Bill Gates. Not exactly Bill Gates, but their father was Kubera. Kubera means he's in charge of the Swiss bank for the demigods. He's the treasurer of the demigods. So they had so much money, and they were all, his father, Kubera, and all the sons were great devotees of Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva let them play in his private gardens and mountain retreat at maybe Mandakini river or something, heavenly Ganga. So they were so proud, they were just standing there naked and enjoying. So in that purport, the Acharyas are saying nothing intoxicates one more than pride. When one becomes proud of their wealth or their beauty. So you can be intoxicated because of beauty, pride of beauty, or intoxicated becomes, well, hey, you know who I am, I'm so wealthy. We become intoxicated. So similarly, the Darwaza band karo. Piche dan. So here in this verse, we're hearing how the rasa, this ras of Radharani's seva, one becomes intoxicated. And it says, Rasa ekadhyani, Padasparsha rasotsavam prananati bir, govindam indivara. So let's hear some discussion of this idea of how Radharani gives that rasa primarily, of course, to Sri Krishna, and then, because she's that unlimited ocean. Radharani is an unlimited ocean of nectar ras. And that's the very title of this book. Radha Ras Sudha Nidhi. Sudha. Sudha means nectar, ambrosia, rasayana. And Nidhi means ocean or treasure, but in this case, ocean. And Radha Ras. So we're talking about that. This book is about the Radha Ras, and all these verses are about the Radha Ras. The Radha Ras that Radharani distributes to Krishna. The Radha Ras that Krishna experiences in being with Radha. The Radha Ras that the Mandris and Sakhis experience in her Sangha and Seva, association and service. So in 6, it's explained here, it's very nice. In 6, there's 6 different ways, because Radharani is being glorified here, because I mentioned one of the points of the verse is Radharani Gun, Radhika Gun. Gun means quality, Trigunamayi, the 3 modes of nature. So Radharani's, this verse, of course, or all the verses, especially, is glorifying Radharani's quality, attribute. What specific attribute? The attribute of Rasadayani. Like someone might be a Dani, or he might be a Sonadayani. He may be a giver of gold, or maybe a Prem Dayani. Prem Dayani, Dayani means the giver of. Dayani, like to Dati, Dadata. So someone may be Prem Dayani. He may be a distributor of Prem. Who is the Prem Dayani that we know best of all? Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu is distributing Prem everywhere. Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurachase Namaha. So he was Pradayani, he Pradatam, Pradayani. So Radharani, she is, there are 6 different ways which she's glorified here as Rasa Eka Dayani Tava. O Radharani, you are the bestower, distributor, giver, and donator, or donor of rasa. So what are those 6 different ways in which Radha distributes ras? Let's look at the first way, which is described in the first line. Padasparsha rasotsavam pranatibir govindam indivara. The first receiver of Radharani's ras is Krishna. Govinda indivara shamam. Govindam indivara shamam. And how does he get that ras? Well, in Archan Marg, in this, while Krishna is dressing Radharani, Krishna becomes absorbed in Srimati Radharani's beautiful form and Radharani's divine touch and taste and sound and smell. In other words, Krishna's alokic indriya, Krishna's spiritual transcendental senses, Angani yasya sakalendriya vrittimanti pashyanti panti kalyanti charam jaganti ananda chinmaya surdujvala vigrahasya govindam aripurusham tamaham bhajami. Krishna's eyes are relishing the rasa of Radharani's form. Krishna's ears are relishing the rasa of Radharani's ankle bells and her bangles, her nupur and kinkini. When he's dressing her, he has to put Radharani's waist bells on, and they go ching, 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 ching. And those waist bells are jingling, and they're jingling, I love you, I love you, I love you. Because all those waist bells of Radharani are full of Mahabhav, pure, unadulterated love for Shyam. So as soon as those waist bells move, they start saying, jing, 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 I love you, I love you. And Krishna says, oh, that's very nice. Every man's ears are eager to hear his beloved say, I love you. This is universal. And sometimes they criticize each other. You haven't told me for a long time that you love me. Well, every day I'm working for you day and night. But sometimes we need this mantra, we need to hear this mantra genuinely, heartfully spoken. It should resonate and emanate from the core of the beloved's heart, and then it will go deep into the core of the lover's heart. I love you. So Krishna, his ears are completely enthralled with the Radha Rasa, Radharani's kinkini waist bells, her Nupura ankle bells, and her Makara Kundala, her little female dolphins. We say it's not sharks; they're more like dolphins. Female porpoise, you say porpoise, dolphin, same kind of. They go like this, kind of. Wee 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 wee. They talk like this. So people say shark-shaped earrings. It's not that. It's a unique Vedic creature. This Makara Kundal, and Makari, male and female. It's the Vahan. Cupid sits on top. The porpoise goes like that, and Cupid, Kandarpa, he sits there, and he rides the waves in the water. The waves are the Trigunamai. and then Cupid looks at you in ignorance, he looks at you in passion, he looks at you in goodness, and he intoxicates the yogi with the female yogi, and he intoxicates the alcoholic with the female alcoholic, he intoxicates the businessman with the passionate businesswoman. So in this way, the Vahan of Kandarpa, Cupid, Kamadev, is this Makara. So it represents cupidity. So Krishna wears Makara Kundala because he's Sakshat Manmata. He's the Aprakrita Madan Mohan, Aprakrita Kamadev, which means God, Krishna, is a spiritual God of love. He's a spiritual God of divine, unlimited, transcendental attraction for every living entity. But Kamadev is working in this world with mundane people, but the Divya Kamadev, transcendental Kamadev, is working to attract people to him, to God. Klim Kamadevaya Vidmahe, we chant Kam Gayatri. That song that will liberate us, Kam Gayatri, that song, that Kam Gaya, Trayate, that song we sing will liberate us and bring us to the loving embrace of Kamadev, Aprakrita Kamadev, the Aprakrita Kamadev Murtiman, Shri Sham Sundar, the very personification of transcendental divine attraction, love, and happiness. The translation. So all of Krishna's, all of his senses are relishing the smell of Radharani's body. It's described that a Shama in the Puran and in the Tikas of the Acharyas on Bhagavatam, there's something called a Shama woman, Sham woman. A Shama woman she may be on this planet, but definitely such type of female ladies, women, are there on the heavenly planets, Gandharva Loka, Swargaloka, Swaloka, etc. And the characteristic or the lakshana, tatastha lakshana and srup lakshana of such a Shama woman is that one is her body is naturally fragrant like a lotus flower, sweet. But each part of Krishna's body and each part of Radharani's body has a distinguishing transcendental aroma. Now Krishna is fully all his senses are pleased while he's dressing Radharani. Radharani is observing how much Shamsundar is absorbed in serving her. And as a response, Swamini Radha slightly smiles. It seems as if nectar is dropping from Radharani's smile. So you can just see that Radharani is thinking, oh, everyone in the universe is serving God. All the pious religious people, seekers of boons and benedictions, are serving God. And the topmost form, the most personal, rasa-filled form of God, Krishna's tu Bhagavan Swayam, the Purnatam Bhagavan, Sri Krishna, he's serving me. And so carefully and so tenderly and so attentively and so perfectly. So Radharani smiles And from the corner of her smile, some drops of nectar, Amrit Bindu. Amrit Bindu. So that's Rasamrit. That's Radha, Rasamrit Bindu, coming from Adhara. Adhara means lips. It's coming from the corner of her lips. Radha Rasamrita Bindu. Radha Adhara. Radha Adhara Rasamrita Bindu. It's from Radha Adhara. Radha Adhar. Adhar means lips. Bimbodara, etc. Lips like a bimba fruit. You read these descriptions about Krishna. So Radharani slightly smiles. But the acharyas and the mandris are observing that. The mandris are also helping Shyam. They're handing Shyam the nupura for him to dress Radharani, or they're handing him a comb, or they're handing him some perfume. Here's. Oh, I know Radharani wants to wear this perfume today, and then the mandri hands it to Krishna because he doesn't really know. There's a whole box full of 30 different types of perfumes. So he opens the box and he's looking. Well, now it's time. I'm dressing Radharani now. After dressing, you put on some perfume. But which one? I don't know. And the mandri goes like this one. Because she knows exactly. The mandri's fingers are Radharani's fingers. The mandri's vichar, consideration, is Radharani's discrimination or choice. The mandri's choice is Radha's choice. And the mandri knows Radharani is communicating to me. She wants this fragrance. So then Krishna, they give. So he puts on. So now the mandris are seeing how Radharani is really appreciating and really grateful for the service that Krishna is rendering. So this is, of course, the Adi Atmika Vichar, the transcendental view, the transcendental consideration. But if we want to look at this from a little lower level of viewpoint, we take it from the level of the sadhaka, and then it becomes that was the Adi Daivika Vichar. We take it from our level, me, that becomes the Adi Atmika Vichar. Atma, me. So how does this apply to me? Of course, it applies every way to me if I'm in Raganuga Bhakti, Raganuga Marg, and I'm trying to meditate on such scenes like this during my smaran and japa and smaran of Leela and sevas within the Leelas as inspired by my Gurudev or given directly by my Gurudev to follow this line of sadhana bhakti. So it means everything to me, even as a sadhaka. Or it means everything to the siddhas that are to the level of prema and seeing this Leela like Shripad and revealing it to us through his poetic expressions in this verse. Parasparsha rasotsavam pranatibir Govinda minda andivara rasaika dayani dava. So we bring it to our level of sadhakas. We can think in a very simple way that Krishna is serving Radharani. He's dressing Radharani and she's very pleased. And she's smiling. So when we serve Radharani, or we serve Krishna, when we serve Radharani, then she'll smile and she'll be very pleased. And when she smiles, then from the corner of Radharani's beautiful lotus mouth will come some drops of nectar, Rasamrita. Radha Adhara Rasamrita Bindu. So Krishna, the Manjari is seeing this in meditation, Shripad is seeing it, he's writing about it, oh, see this nectar. And then Krishna is also seeing it while he's dressing Radharani. So he's, some nectar is falling. Just like when the milk is falling from the cow, then the cow, the gopa puts his bucket, his balti under there and collects the milk. When it starts falling, and he's pulling it out naturally. So Krishna said, this nectar is falling. And then immediately Krishna doesn't want Radharani's nectar to be wasted. So Shyam carefully catches every drop with the cup of his lips. So Radharani is very pleased with Krishna's dressing of her, and she's smiling. Krishna notices that and said, this is just what I'm waiting for. The recognition, the gratitude, the loving reciprocation. Then immediately he responds by kissing Radharani. This is the reason, this is one first reason why Radharani is called Rasa Dayani, the giver of ras. There's 6 different reasons why Radharani is glorified here by Sripad as Rasaika Dayani Tava. You are the giver, Dayani, bestower of ras. Not only the Rasa Dayani, but you're the Rasa Eka Dayani. You are the one and only distributor, donator, giver of ras. Only you can give Radha Ras. And Radha Ras is what Krishna lives for. And Radha Ras is what devotees live for. And Radha Ras is what devotees aspire for. The Radha Ras of serving Radha's lotus feet, birth after birth. As I said, there's 6 ways, or 6 different reasons why Radharani is glorified as Rasa Eka Dayani. The second way is this. In Archan Marg, what we commonly call deity worship, the deity, and at the conclusion of his puja, he offers obeisances. And he begs Thakurji, please forgive me for any aparads that or any offenses that have incurred in my puja. So he chants various mantras for forgiveness that are given in the Shastras. Mantrahinam, Kriyahinam, Bhaktihinam, Janardana, Yat Pujitam Maya Devam, Paripurnam Tarastu Me, Aparara Sahasrani Kriyanterna Shamayam, Dasohamatiman Matma Shamasva Madhusudana. Shamasva Madhusudana. O Madhusudan, O Sham, O Krishna, O Govinda, O Gaur, O Nitai, Shama, please forgive me for my offenses. Aparara Sahasrani Kriyante Harnishamaya. That I have made thousands, Aparara Sahasra, thousands of offenses knowing and unknowingly, so please forgive those. So after reciting these prayers, then when Sham finishes dressing Kishori, he is completely astounded by seeing the incomparable sweetness of Radhika's divine form at this time, at the completion of her dressing. Then Sham thinks, well, Radharani looks so beautiful and so attractive. And I dressed her. I got the fortune. Usually Lalita and Chitra and Vishaka and Rupamandri and Tulsi, all the Sakis and Mandris, every day in Barsana or Yavat, they are having this great fortune of dressing Radharani and touching her sweet divine form and smelling the transcendental fragrance of her body and hearing her ankle bells. But today in the Kunja Lila and the Manjula Raha Kunjams and this secret solitary Nibrita Nikunj, I, Shamsundar, I got the opportunity to dress Radharani. Oh, how lucky I am. Oh, how fortunate I am. I'm really Saubhagya today. I am very fortunate. I'm a lucky man. Sometimes people say, lucky man. So then after Krishna was thinking, this is what Krishna thought. What did Krishna think after he finished dressing Radharani? He thought, Jivan Safal. He said, my life will become successful and fruitful if I can offer it to the lotus feet of Srimati Radhika. So that Krishna was thinking this after his Archan Seva, his Shringar Seva. And we should all think that. After we chant japa, after we finish our mala, 16 rounds, 64, whatever, or after our puja, we should think, oh, my life will become fruitful and successful if I can offer it to the lotus feet of Srimati Radhika. Then what does Krishna do? He offers his obeisances to Radha's lotus feet, thus concluding his worship, puja and dressing. This is the conclusion of Krishna's Shringar Rasa Murti Seva. Shringar Rasa Murti Seva. Radharani is the Murti of Shringar Ras. Shringar Ras means Madhur. Madhurya means erotic conjugal love. Divine transcendental love. Shringar. So she's this is his seva. He just finished his Shringar Rasa. She says Shringar, his seva to the Shringar Rasa Murti. So he offered his obeisances, and that's told in the first line. Padasparsha Rasotsavam Pranatibir Govindam. As we do, as we mentioned, we do puja, dress, bhoga, then we offer prayers. Oh, please forgive me your offenses. Then we offer obeisances and touch the feet. Please forgive me, and please always engage me in your service, O Giriraj, O Gauranitai. Oh, please, life after life, may I always be engaged in your service. Here, there, and everywhere forever. May I always be engaged in your service here, there, everywhere, forever. This is the prayer for everyone. So then this verse is describing Padasparsha Rasotsavam Pranatibir. Nati, we have that in this Sadgoswami Astakam. Sankhya Purvaka Namagana Natibi Kalava Sanikrito Nidra Hara Viharako Vijato Chatyanta Dino Chaya Radha Krishna Smritir Madhurima Radha Krishna Guna Smritir Madhurima Nandena Samhoito Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghuyago Sri Jiva Gopalako Sankhya Purvaka Nama Gana Natibi. Natibi. So Natibi means dandavats, obeisances. Sri Raghunath Das Goswami was offering dandavats every day in front of his kuti, his bhajan kutir at Shamakund. He was offering 1,000 ekazar dandavats, rows, 1,000 obeisances every day to the Vaishnavas. He was, wherever they were, because he was in Puri for 16 years, so he's thinking, oh, Srup Damodar, dandavats, lies on the ground. Oh, Rai Ramananda, dandavats, lies on the ground. Oh, Bhavananda Roy, lies on the ground. Oh, Maharaj Pratapruja, lies on the ground. Oh, Thakur Haridas Thakur, lies on the ground. Oh, Madhavi Devi, lies on the ground, dandavats. Oh, Shiki Mahiti, dandavats, lies on the ground. And he starts thinking of all the Puri devotees. Then he goes to Navadvip in his manasik smaran. He says, oh, Sachimata, dandavats. Oh, Ishan Thakur, dandavats. Oh, Sita Devi, dandavats. Oh, Advaitacharya, dandavats. Like this. All the devotees and also the Lord. Oh, Radha Govinda Dev, dandavats. Oh, Radha Gopinath, dandavats. Oh, Radha Raman, like this. So 1,000 dandavats to devotees, 2,000 to the Lord. So now Krishna is dressing Radharani and he's offering bhog and he's completed. So Krishna himself is offering Natibi. He's offering, Natibi means dandavats. Prana Natibi. Prana means my life, my very life force. So when you lie on the ground, where's your life energy? Your body's on the ground, but your heart's on the ground and your mind. Because offering obeisances involves 7 limbs of the body. When you offer dandavats, 7 limbs are involved. That's the 2 feet, the 2 knees, that's 4, the 2 arms, that's 6, whatever. The head, the chest, the arms, the legs. But then the 7th one is the mind. So we say, oh, Dandavats Maharaj, Dandavats. Dandavats Prabhu. There's no mind is there. There's only some words in there, like, hello, this, that. But when we offer Dandavats before Thakurji, or Gurudev, or Vaishnavas, or Leela Stalis, the body is there, but most important, Natibi, is Man Natibi. The mind. Man means mind. The mind must be lying in the Brajaraj at the Radhakund, at Manasapavan Ghat. The mind must be lying in the dust of Sevakunj. The mind must be lying in the dust of Shringarvat in Vrindavan, or Barsana in front of Manini Radha in Mankutir. It's the mind. This is the most important part of Dandavat. This is how Krishna serves Radharani. Para sparsha rasotsavam prananati bi. He's lying in the dust of Radharani's feet. And then he very, very carefully and gently touches Radharani's lotus petal toes. And he's thinking when Krishna parasparsha, when Krishna touches Radharani's lotus petal toes, he thinks, Smara garala kandanam, Smara garala kandanam, Mamasi shiras, Mama shirasi mandanam, Dehi parapalavam udaram atapam. This is from Govinda, Gita Govinda, the famous verse. Pada sparsha rasotsavam prananatibi. Rasa dayani Radha. Oh Rasa ekadayani. Radharani, there is no one in this universe, not Chandravali, not Shabya, not Padma, not any other Sakhi, who is the giver of ras like you. You are the Rasa ekadayani, Rasaika dayani. Only you, Eka, only you can give ras to me. What is that ras? It is your Radha ras, Sudha. And what is that Radha ras? It's Divyon Mad, Madanakya Mahabhav. Only you have that reservoir in your heart, and you're Mahabhavati Radha. So now I'm touching that, I'm at the shore of that ocean of nectar. I'm touching your feet, Padasparsha. And what am I experiencing? Rasotsavam, Rasa Utsav. Utsav means festival, Mahotsav, Tirobhav Mahotsav, Janmotsava, the festival of Krishna's birth. So I'm experiencing a great festival. So this is the second reason why Radharani is called Rasadayani, that she bestows so much rasa to Krishna. Just by the mere touch of Radharani's lotus feet. This is like a festival of ras for Krishna, Padasparsha Rasotsavam. This is the second way which Radha bestows rasa to Krishna, Rasadayani. While they are observing this wonderful scene, there's nothing more satisfying, there's nothing more pleasing to the eyes of Radharani's maidservants, Manjaris, and her Sakhis than seeing Krishna serving Radha. There's nothing more gratifying and pleasing than seeing Krishna Padasparsha Pranatibi, Krishna offering obeisances at the feet of Radharani. Because Radharani is their Ishwari, she's their Praneshwari. So they say, oh, this is very nice. Everyone in the universe should worship Radharani. Everyone in the universe should serve our Radharani. Everyone in the universe should fall at the feet of Radharani. Sharanagati Radha. Oh, Sharanagati. I remember when we were staying at Radha Damodar, many people, Radha Damodar Mandir in Sevakunj, 1990, and then many people, some great devotees of Damodarji, they would come every morning and they would offer pranams to Damodar, and then they would say, I would hear them while they're lying there, they say, Sharanagati Prabhu, Sharanagati Prabhu, oh Sharanagati Prabhu. Oh Prabhu, Prabhu means God. Like we say, Prabhu, all in the Chaitanya Bhagavat, Prabhu Kaha, Prabhu Kaha. Prabhu said, Prabhu means Mahaprabhu, Lord Gauranga. So, oh Damodar Prabhu, oh my God, oh my Lord, Damodar, Sharanagati, I surrender to you. Sharanagati Prabhu. So the Manjaris and Sakhis, they're very happy when they see Krishna lying at Radharani's feet. Sharanagati Radha, Sharanagati Radha. Surrendering to Radharani. So that the Manjaris, they're observing this, how Krishna is receiving, how he at this time is receiving so much ras. And the analogy is given in the Tika here. It says that while they're observing this wonderful scene of Krishna offering obeisances to their Ishwari, the minnow means a tiny little fish. He goes very fast. He's in the water. And in English they call minnow. Minnow. He just goes so fast. And they usually go a whole bunch of them. They go in schools. There's always 200 or 300 of them together. And they go all around, and lakes, fresh water. They're usually in freshwater lakes, and not in ocean, I don't think so. And mountains and fresh water, not salty water. They go little, tiny, they're only this big. And they go very fast. So the eyes, sometimes they use this, Meenakshi. You've heard this term. There's a South Indian temple of Durga called Meenakshi. So Meena, Keshavadrita, Meena Sharira. Meena means the avatar of Lord Vishnu, Krishna, known as the fish avatar, Meena. Keshavadrita, Meena. So it literally, Meenakshi, Akshi means eyes, means fish eyes. Fish eyes. Usually we say lotus eyes, and big eyes, lotus eyes, and Harinakshi, deer-like eyes. Harina means deer, but fish eyes. It seems because in this regard of like minnows, they're always moving like this, restless. So that's the name for Durga, the Meenakshi temple, very famous temple in South India, hundreds, maybe thousands of years old. But the gopis, the manjaris, in this juncture of the Leela, while they're observing, their eyes are moving like minnows. Their eyes are like Meenakshi. They're looking at each other. Wow, you see this? Look at this! Look at this! Look at this! And no one, because there's one Krishna, and all he's there with all ladies, all Sakhis, manjaris. And all the Sakhis are looking at each other. You see this? And everyone's saying, very good. Yes. Like. I put a like over here. All the manjaris go like this. Like, I like. I like love Radha. So this is Padasparsha Rasotsavam. So observing their Ishvari, receiving Krishna's dandavats, the minnow-like eyes of Radharani's manjaris swim in the waves of this ras. So that Krishna is relishing this Sringa ras from his Sringa ras Murti Seva. So there's so much ras being generated there in Radha's heart and Krishna's heart. The giver of ras is Radharani, and the receiver of ras is Krishna. So there's so much ras, the whole kunja is flooding with ras. Rasa Magana. Rasa Magana means everyone's being flooded and drowned in the waves of ras generated between Krishna serving Radharani and Radharani bestowing her mercy on Krishna. Doya Moy. You say, oh, Doya Moy. Nitai Doya Moy. Lord, So Dayani means, in this case, not Doya, but Dayani means he's giving the ras, and the ras is being spread everywhere. And water flows. If you open a dam, the water flows everywhere. It doesn't just go in a straight line. When you open a dam, there's so much water, it goes right, left, it goes everywhere, it just blows. So Radharani is that ocean of ras, Radharas Suranidhi. And she's opened the floodgates of her heart. Floodgates means that closing prevent the dam, keeping it from gates. You open the gates and prevent the floodgates. So she's opened the floodgates of her heart, and she's inundating the entire kunjan, two samis of Sringa ras. Huge tidal waves. Sringa ras, and all the manjaris, oh, hold on. They're getting washed away. You're like Arjuna looking at the eye of the fish or something. See, so this is a very nice, very wonderful point. So this is the second way by which Radharani is Rasa Ekadayani. The third way is one word, and the acharyas are giving 6 different meanings in the Tika. I'm just repeating it right here. You can buy the book and see it. It's there in Hindi and English and everything. This is the third way. Because we're discussing how Radharani is Radha is the giver of ras. Radha gives ras. Kripamai Radha, mercifully at this time, because you see, oftentimes in Gaur Lila, someone collapses at the feet of Gauranga in absolute submission, Sharanagati, here's the real example of Sharanagati Prabhu. They collapse at the feet of Gauranga, like Sanatana Goswami. With Dante means dentist. In Sanskrit, Dante, maybe same in Russian. Dante means teeth. And then we say toothbrush in Hindi is called datun. So Dante becomes dentist in English, dentist. So he's Dante Trina. He has Trina, grass. He's holding a piece of grass in his teeth. And he's falling at the feet of Lord Chaitanya. Maybe you've seen that painting in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And he's holding the feet. And he's submitting. He's saying, "Oh Prabhu, Kayami tapatrai, Kayami tapatrai, Kayami, who am I? Tapatrai is Bengali. Kayami, who am I? Kayami, tapatrai, why am I being beaten and attacked by all these these three modes of material nature? Please liberate me, please save me, Mahaprabhu." So this is an example, of course, of surrender. Sharanagati Prabhu, Sharanagati Mahaprabhu. So what does Gauranga do? His heart melts with compassion. Doya Sindhu, Doya Nidhi Gaur. His heart melts with compassion, and he bends down, and he reaches down, and he picks up Sanatana Goswami from his feet, and he tightly embraces him in his love, and surcharges his whole being with divine prema, with that prema lingata karunamai embrace from Lord Gauranga. So here, often you see this, where someone falls at the feet of Gauranga and he picks them up and embraces them. So here, Krishna has fallen at the feet of Radharani. Pranatibi. Padasparsha Rasotsavam Pranatibi. So Padasparsha Pranatibi. He's fallen, collapsed in Dandavats at Radharani's lotus feet, and he's experiencing an utsav, a festival of ras from those feet. But when Radharani sees this extreme example of humility, an extreme example of submission by her Lord, her Prananath, Krishna, then she reaches down and she mercifully lifts up Shyam from her feet, and she seats Shyam next to her on the throne. Nagar means that transcendental lover, Sri Krishna. He is overwhelmed by Radharani's tender, sweet touch. As in effect, all his bodily hairs stand erect in ecstasy, and loving tears start to stream from Shyam's eyes. So this is the third way by which Radharani bestows ras on Krishna, by touching him. Now this is the fourth way. Now the maidservants, because Krishna has dressed Radharani, now the maidservants, there's still some seva left to be done, because Krishna, fell into the ocean of Shringar Ras. So now the maidservants, they offer Radharani finely prepared, they offer drinks. I guess Krishna offered all the other things, mala, chandan, ganda. They offer finely prepared sweet drinks. In the verse it says, mala chandana ganda pura rasavat tambula sat panakan yadatum adatum means panaka means drinks. Even there's a type of some drink in South India is called panaka, something like that. Isn't it panaka? So this is a word even today. This is in South. Panaka means some type of flavor, some sweet drink, some sherbet or some like tandai or something like this. So they first, Priyaji, she sips some of that. She takes a little bit. Then she hands the cup to Priyatam. Then Krishna savors the sweet flavor of Radharani's beautiful lotus mouth. It's because Radharani gives her prasadi panaka, and then Krishna takes the cup to his mouth, and he smells and he tastes the flavor of Radharani's lips, her lotus mouth. Because the drink is now mixed with prem, it's called Sat Panaka. And this is the reason that Acharyas are explaining. Because it's Panaka, it's a flavorful, sweet, health-giving, a tonic type drink, but then it says Sat. Why is it Sat? Sat means very good. It's become enriched. It's enriched, like they say, enriched. Now this is the fourth way Krishna gets the Rasa Dayani. He gets the rasa, the taste of Radharani's lips. So this is the fourth way that Radharani bestows her Rasa Dayani, by giving Sham her sweet drink, remnants, her sherbet. It can be kusa or rose or tandai, something like this. Now the fifth way that Radharani is Rasa Dayani, and she's the only Rasa Dayani. For Krishna, she's the only giver of Ras. Ras means flavor, bliss, satisfaction, aesthetic rapture, divine rapture, love. So for Krishna and all the devotees, Radharani is the very source and the only source of Ras. So when devotees realize that, when we are worshippers of Radha and Krishna, and Radharani is the reservoir of all Krishna's love. She is the Ladini Shakti. She is all of the love. Love means bliss. Bliss means love. So divine love and divine bliss, they go hand in hand together. So Radharani is the origin of all that divine bliss and the origin of all that divine love. That's a Shakti within Krishna. It's a Shakti, but it's personified. That Shakti is Ladini Shakti, Halad. Aladini Shakti means satisfaction, Alad. Satisfaction, bliss, prema. So that Shakti within Krishna is Antaranga Swarup Shakti, internal personal energy. Spiritual energy comes out and takes the form of Radha. And his Sandini Shakti, which is his energy of existence, and everything that exists and everything that exists is for Krishna's service, and everything in existence is for Krishna's service, and that existence potency within Krishna comes out and manifests as Balaram, Anatashesh. And Anatashesh takes 5 different forms to serve Krishna, and Nityananda is serving Gaur. Nityananda and Balaram, they're the Seva Murtis of Krishna and Gauranga. They all are just absorbed in unbelievable sevas. Oh, Nitai, don't come every year for Rath Yatra. You stay, I want you to stay in Bengal. Through you, I have to liberate all the people and preach. Yes, my Lord, I will preach. So then he preached. So this is the Sandini. So Radharani is that ocean of that bliss and love. So therefore, for devotees, she's Rasa Ekadaini. She's the only giver of ras, of that prema, of that bliss, of that satisfaction. And when we realize that there's no other source of ras, of bliss or joy than serving Radharani, then we lose everything else in the world. And we find ras from one source, Radharani. Radharani's seva, Radharani's nam, rup, gun, lila, Radharani's sangha, Radharani's dham, everything Radharani. Radharani's prasadam. We don't want to taste anything that's not tasted by Radharani. We don't want to see anything that's not seen by Radharani. We don't want to smell anything that's not smelled by Radharani. We don't want to touch anything that's not touched by Radharani. And this is the idea. This is Radha Bhav. This is Gopi Bhav. Gopi Bhav means Radha Bhav. Manjri Bhav means, what does Manjri Bhav mean? To be one with the heart and mind and Bhav of Radharani. Gopi Bhav. So this is the fifth reason, fifth cause of why Radharani is called Rasaika Dhyani. After this, the maidservant serves delicious betel leaves, Rasavat. Mala Chandan Ganda Pura Rasavat Tambul. Rasavat. Vat means like Van, means possessing. Ras, very saturated and full of very flavorful, sweet taste. Rasavat Tambul to Radharani. Radharani accepts that tambul offering from Ramanjari, and she delightfully chews the tasty tambul. Seeing this, Shyamasundar understands that now that tambul that Radharani has been that tambul that Radharani's been tasting, Sham understands this is now rasavat. Before it was tambul. Tambul is betel nuts from a tree, and there's some katechu there, and some chuna, some limestone, and some red paste katechu, and maybe some kapur, or even some raisins, and different seasons, different elements inside. Then it's folded over inside a pond leaf, then some cloves put there. And so many different tastes are there. The sour taste from the limestone, it's called chuna. That gives kind of a lemony taste. Then there's the sweet taste from the betel. All many tastes are mixed together. But so that's ras. Tambul has taste, but it's not. It's some taste. It's taste. It's a ruchi, but it's a material word also ras, but it's not rasavat. We're hearing about the 6 different ways by which Radharani gives rasa, rasaika dayani. So the Manjaris have offered this wonderful tambul, and it's rasavat, means possessing, it's truly full of ras. What is the ras? It's Radharani's most desirable madhura ras. And Chatu Pushpanjali, which is in Stavamala by Rupa Goswami, he describes what happened next. He said, the clever prince of Braj kisses Radharani's cherry red lips, and he steals that tambul from her mouth. We've heard that Krishna is Makanchor. Makanchor means a butter thief, but we never heard of Krishna as Tambulchor. Tambulchor is very intimate. Only a few Rasik Gaudiya Vaishnavas could appreciate such a term for God. Oh, our God is called Tambulchor. Tambulchor? He goes to the pawn shop and he steals tambul? No, not exactly like that. Maybe you won't understand. Anyway, you call him Makanchor. For you, Shama is Makanchor. For the followers of Ragmar, Krishna is Tambulchor. And that's very less, of course. But anyway, Makanchor is very nice, and people are happy with that. It doesn't cause any waves. But anyway, the fact remains that all the time Krishna is stealing Radharani's tambul. And sometimes, he and she doesn't have to steal his tambul because he freely offers it to her. But Krishna he's just a natural thief. So if he wants anything, he has to steal it. Wants your sari, he'll steal your saris. He wants your tambul, he'll steal. But Radharani's thinking, it'd be nice if I have Sham's tambul. So then Krishna gives, she doesn't have to steal it. So now this is the 5th way that Radharani gives the rasadayani. She bestows a sweet taste, the rasa sweet taste, upon Sham of her delicious lips and tambul. Now the 6th way that Radha is also a name for Radharani. Radha is called Rasaika Dayani, is that the sadhaka, this is the sadhaka and her seva in meditation. Suddenly this deep vision that Shripad is having, which is called spurti, this deep vision within the recesses of his meditative mind, fully conscious meditative mind at the topmost stage of prema and bhav and devotional development. He's a siddha, of course. But this vision, this transcendental vision, this beautiful sweet lila and exchanges that he's seeing and writing about, it disappears. And then he pitifully prays. So this phrase, Rasaika Dayani Tava, it's for on the transcendental level, the alokic level, the Adi-Daivik Vichara, there's this whole lila, and Radharani's bestowing so much rasa, in 5 different ways she's bestowing rasa to Krishna, and the Manjaris are appreciating that, why they're observing that in the Kunja, and serving in cooperation with Krishna and for Radharani's pleasure. But then the sixth way, the final way, is that for the sadhakas, that they're praying here, and the sadhakas are praying, Kadasyam, Preshya Kadasyam Aham. Oh, when will you engage me in your service, and when will I become the fortunate recipient of your rasa mercy? So suddenly this Leela Sporti vision disappears, and then Sripad pitifully prays, O Rasaika Daini, O Sri Radha, please bless this fallen soul with the nectar of your devotional service. So this is Parasparsha Rasotsavam Pranatibir Govindam Indivara Shamam Pratayatum Samanjala Raha Kunjams Chasamarjitum Mala Chandana Ganda Pura Rasavat Tambul Sat Panakan Yadattum Cha Rasaika Daini Tava Presha Kadasyamaham. O only bestower of Ras, Shri Radhike, when will you engage me by praying to the blue lotus flower named Govinda, who experiences a festival of Ras when he bows down to your sweet lotus feet and touches them? Parasparsha Rasot Savam Pranatibir. And when can I sweep your lovely solitary kunja, your Raha Kunjam Samarjitam, and bring you a flower garland, sandalwood paste, perfumes, and tasty betel leaves and drinks to you? So this is the sixth way that Radha is Rasadayani. She bestows a sweet taste of ras, of her eternal loving service in the kunjas of Vrindavan. So we are rasikas, we are seekers of ras. Ras means love, prem, taste, satisfaction, divine rapture, aesthetic bliss. So everyone wants ultimate bliss. So the ultimate bliss available in any spiritual sphere is the bliss attained by serving the lotus feet of Radharani and Madhura Vrindavan and Madhura Ras and with her Sham. So we are hankering for that, and we're praying, Oh Rasadayani, Oh Rasaika Dayani, Radha. I don't want ras. I don't want any other type of ras. I want the seva ras. You must have heard of prem ras, and you've heard of nam ras. So there's all this ras, nam ras, prem ras, seva ras. It's all generated and has its origin. All this ras has its origin in the ocean of Radharani's love and seva, Radha Ras Suranidhi. So the sadhakas, we're also praying to Radharani, please bestow the sweet taste, the rasa. What is that? Where will I get that sweet taste from? Where will I get that sweet experience of ras? I will get it from I will obtain that and receive that sweet, satisfying taste if you bestow upon me the service of your lotus feet. And that, of course, is the goal of the Raganuga Bhakta in Manjari Bhav. He wants to attain the service of Radharani's feet with his Radha Sneha Adik Bhav, his extra, so much affection, tender affection and love for Radharani. So he's hankering for that, and he's praying for that, and he's meditating on those opportunities and those different explanations in the Shastras where the Manjaris are serving Radharani's feet and absorbed in that seva ras. And so Vishwanath Chakravarti Pad and Prabhupada Saraswati and Narottam Das Thakur, and especially Raghunath Das Goswami and Rupa Manjari, Rupa Goswami, and all their writings, Stavamala, Stavavali, they're writing all about the seva ras. The Radha Ras, the Radha Seva Ras, the Radha Seva Ras, the Seva, the Rasa obtained by serving Radharani in so many unlimited ways. And Prabhupada Saraswati is describing here very directly and clearly in these verses in Manjari Srup Avesh in Radha Rasa Suranidhi, but also in Vrindavan Mahimamrita by the same author. There's many instances and descriptions of Ras there also, the Seva. So any sadhaka, so this is the sixth way Radha's Rasadayani. She bestows a sweet taste of her eternal loving seva in the kunjas of Vrindavan. That's very nice. Nice sentence. Radha is called Rasa Dayani because she bestows, Radhika, Karunamayi Radha, bestows the sweet taste of the ras of her eternal loving seva in the kunjas of Vrindavan. Any sadhaka who, during the time of his smaran or meditation, any sadhaka who can see such sweet pastimes as this and meditate on performing these type of services, he will certainly feel bliss. He will certainly feel bliss, and he'll feel that that bliss that he's feeling will convince him that Radharani has surely bestowed her rasa upon him. So we are sadhakas, we are practitioners on Rag Marg, and we're chanting mala and we're meditating. We're reading these verses like this, or we're reading the Astakali Lila under the guidance of Guru and Vaishnav and their instructions, and we're trying to think of the sevas and meditate and praying for mercy all the time. And by chance, if we can get some distant glimmer or some slight view of these pastimes or these exchanges in each one of these verses, we will feel very, very happy, very, very blissful feeling in our heart. And at that moment, maybe later when we stop meditating, or because we're not on that level of constant samadhi or dhruvanusmriti, when we have to come out and move in the world and do our various activities, that may become fleeting. It may dissolve or fade away a little bit. But we'll recall, oh, that was very nice. When I sit, I'll go soon. I'll finish my work and sevas, other sevas, and again I'll sit to meditate and chant. And on this particular pastime or lila or this particular shloka, and then maybe Radharani will again give me that little drop, that Radha Adara Rasa Bindu, a drop from the corner of her lips will fall upon me when she sees the sincerity of my endeavor to remember her and serve her in my meditation. This is the life of the sadhaka, the practitioner. So what could be a more absorbing thought? What could be a more absorbing thought or aspiration? You know, aspiration means what I want to attain. What could be a more absorbing thought or aspiration than to think like this? Because we think, and we think about everything and anything all the time. So how about this for an alternative? To have this thinking, someday on the order of Radha, I will sweep. I will take a broom, just sweeping. I will sweep the secluded forest bower where Radharani is meeting Krishna, and I will help Shamsundar redress Radha by bringing fresh flower garlands, sweet perfumes, tasty tambul, sandalwood paste, and dresses and ornaments. O Radha, when will you mercifully engage me like this? O Rasadayani Radha ki jai. So this is a beautiful verse describing different aspects of Radharani and her mercy and Krishna's submission and love for Radharani and her love and kindness towards Krishna, and all the manjaris are there. Krishna and Radharani and the manjaris and sakis together in the kunja, and beautiful exchanges and beautiful visions. Just see Krishna offering dandavats to Radharani's feet, Radharani bending and picking him up. Very beautiful visions and very beautiful scenes. So we hope that everyone will enter deeply into such types of descriptions and experience this rasa, this Radha rasa that's being described here in this verse. So I think we'll stop there. Radha Rasa Nidhi ki jai, jai jai Shri Radhe. Radha Rani, Radha Govinda Dev ki jai. Shama